في عام 2011 في شهر مارس بدأت الحرب السورية بين الموالين لحزب البعث وغير الموالين من يريد الإطاحة بالحكومة. مع التظاهرات الشعبية التي تمت على الصعيد الوطني وسميت تحت الربيع العربي، طالب المتظاهرون باستقالة الرئيس بشار الأسد ونهاية حكم حزب البعث. في إبريل من 2011 تم نشر قوات الجيش السوري لقمع المظاهرات، كما تم إطلاق النار على المتظاهرين في جميع أنحاء البلاد. بعد أشهر من الحصار العسكري، كما وصل الحال إلى بعض المتظاهرين إلى التمرد المسلح، أعلنت الأمم المتحدة أن عدد القتلى يتراوح ما بين 93,000 إلى قرابة 100,000 قتيل. هربا من العنف، فر أكثر من 1.5 مليون لاجئ سوري إلى البلدان المجاورة كالأردن، لبنان، تركيا، العراق، كردستان العراق. الآلاف أيضا انتهى بهم الحال إلى بلدان أبعد كالقوقاز والخليج الفارسي وشمال أفريقيا. في آب من عام 2012 ذكرت مفوضية الأمم المتحدة أن عدد اللاجئين السوريين بلغ أكثر من 100,000 لاجئ، وهو ما فاق توقعاتهم حيث كانت 185,000. ووفقا للأمم المتحدة 6 ملايين شخص داخل سوريا بحاجة إلى مساعدة، كما شرد حوالي 4 ملايين سوري بسبب الحرب الأهلية. وفي عام 2013 أعلنت مفوضية الأمم المتحدة أن عدد اللاجئين قد فاق 1,000,000. وفي شهر مارس من نفس العام ارتفع العدد إلى 1,204,707 لاجئ. الآن وفي هذه اللحظة خلال هذا الفيلم، عدد اللاجئين في الأردن فقط هو 584,406، وبنهاية هذا المقطع سيزداد هذا الرقم، وبحلول نهاية هذه الليلة حوالي 1,000 لاجئ سيدخل الأراضي الأردنية. يرتكز النازحين السوريين في شمال الأردن في مخيمات اللاجئين كالزعتري، المفرق، الرمثة وحدائق الحسين، كما يشكل اللاجئين السوريين 10% من سكان الأردن.
We feel that, somebody like me feels we really never had a breather from influx of refugees in Jordan, starting the Palestinian twice in 48 and 67. Then it came Lebanon in the 80s, and they all came here. Then it came the Iraqis in the 90s, and now it is the Syrians. We've had influxes of refugees here as far as I remember, from 48 until now. And so we kind of, there we go again, as Jordanians, there we go again. We definitely, it's very sad, very tragic, but I think we reached a degree where we are saying, God, let's get over this. Let not this one, which is the Syrian problem, affect our personal lives.
We have over 550,000 Syrian refugees right now. That's from around over 10% of our population within the past 2 years has increased. So that's equivalent to the US receiving 30 million people till now. We're expecting this number to increase to 15%, and next year, if the trend continues, could go up to 30% to 40% of our population, which is a very high number given the lack of resources we have in Jordan. Jordan is the 4th poorest country when it comes to water, and we have 80% of our energy supplies are based on natural gas coming through the Sinai in Egypt, and that pipeline has been blown up 14 times already. And whenever that pipeline is blown up, Jordan has to dip into any reserves to buy heavy fuel off the market, which has drained our economy pretty badly over the past 2 years. And the Syrian refugees, we have from them over 240,000 of them are actually kids and young people, which means that they're given free access to schools, and they need special medical care, which is given to them for free, which drains the already, drained infrastructure that we have, given the lack of proper electricity system, because of the electricity problems that we have, and the schools and the medical centers as well. They're being strained a lot by Syrian refugees who live here, and a lot of the injured fighters that come in, or injured refugees, they're also being treated in hospitals in Jordan, which adds to the drain. We have a couple of hospitals run by Moroccans and the French and other countries who are running field hospitals in the Zaatari camp, which is the main camp. But obviously there's an overflow of that goes into the Jordanian healthcare centers that we have across the north and all the way to the south. And just to give you an idea, from the 550,000 Syrians we have as refugees, only 130 plus thousand are in the actual camp. The rest of them actually live in cities across Jordan. Zaatari itself, with this population, is now the fourth biggest city in Jordan. And that is causing there's a lot of problems when it comes with that, because you got to deal with sewage, you got to deal with giving them the proper infrastructure, which is already further draining what we have. Zaatari is put on a water table, and basically they're sucking it dry. And when it comes to water, Jordanians usually we use 1/7 of the waters that the Syrians use in their daily life, because Syria has much more water. So that's a problem as well, because one person would use an average of 7 times more than what a Jordanian would use when it comes to daily use of water. Of course, there's awareness campaigns, etc., but still, that's also a factor that's affecting us.
Yeah, you have to struggle for water. You have to struggle to go to the WC. You have to struggle to get food, and the food is not enough. It just, rice, burger, and cans of meat and tuna. Yeah, there is no vegetables. There is no fruit. He is abnormal, He is not normal. Yeah, he was in jail. They tortured him, and now he's abnormal. He's very ill, he can't. No, who is he? Yeah, because in the jail, as I mentioned, they tortured him a lot.
We need to be more successful in getting foreign help and foreign aid to also handle this as not just a Jordanian problem. I think Jordan is doing what it can. I think the world is not doing enough. It has cost, some estimates are something like $2+ billion so far. Jordan has to manage to come up with most of it or half of it or whatever. I'm not sure the figure, but the world has not done enough. The thing about the refugees is you don't know who are the refugees most of the time. If you get in 10,000 people with no ID cards, how do you know who is who and who is going to do what? So there's always that worry, I think, but I think it's not a question of the security infrastructure, it's a question of the burden of catering for all of that. Now, of course, not everything is perfect, not everyone is happy, but a refugee by definition is a miserable person. Why else is he a refugee? And many of them are not refugees just from the war zones. Someone in the north of Syria is living comfortably but unemployed may decide to come to Jordan as a refugee because maybe he'll get a job here. So not all of them are refugees in terms of coming out of a war. Many of them are just crossing because it's safer, it's economically more viable, and maybe they'll get a job.
This is the leader of the family. وين جوزك؟ وين؟
ما بعرف، ما يتمشى.
بالمخيم؟
ايه
Zahir Abu Shihab, director of this camp. I have master degree in international relations. My experience is 8 years in operation departments, 12 years in Interpol, 3 years as prison director, and since 13 January 2013, I am director of this camp.
ممنوع تصوري. امسح الفيديو.
This is an RC distribution point. This is, you see the number of people they are waiting for you see, for help or for support, for assistance. This is French hospital. This is Moroccan hospital. We have Italian, Jordanian hospital. The refugees in the camp is under the law of Jordan. So any criminal act happened in the camp should come to the administration here. So the main problem we faced when we came here is the problem of smuggling. Actually, we caught more than 410 cases of smuggling, food, tent, containers, etc. But now the number is reduced because now the security around the camps now it's okay, because we made sand hill around the camp. We have gendarme also guarding the border of the camp. In the camp, we give permission for all refugees who want to go outside the camp to visit their relatives or to go to the hospitals or to buy something special for them. It's allowed. Just they come to the administration and they get permission for the days they need. The life outside the camp is very expensive. If they want to rent apartment or want to pay for electricity, water, so they find the life is expensive. So even if they are paying out, they return to the camp.
أنت بتروحي على المدرسة؟
لا.
ليش؟ أنت بأي صف؟
ثاني.
قد صار هون؟
4 أشهر.
Most of the media and the people who are visiting the camp, they are talking about rape and vandalism and something like that. It's a big city for Jordan. The population of the camp, it's 130,000 as we said. So it's normal to find kind of crime inside the camp. Now they are raising the problem of the early marriage inside the camp. This is one of the habits of the Syrian people, especially from Dar'a area. This is a tradition to get marriage for early marriage for the girl. We are working with UNHCR, UNICEF now, and with the Ministry of Awqaf and the Ministry of Health. We are registering the marriage cases according to the Jordanian law, and also we start awareness with UNICEF for the people inside the camp to give them the idea what's the problems coming back from the early marriage.
This is the site which cook for their families from the raw materials which introduced it from the UNHCR. Okay. They write here on this wall, I love you. We do not love President Bashar al-Assad.
We always do feel that we can do more. We can, these people, these children could live in a better environment, in better circumstances, in better environment. It's a very, it's a real shame for us that we here enjoy. We have good food, we can go here and there, and we have fun. We are celebrating Eid tomorrow, and just few kilometers in the north, there's children dying out of diseases and hunger, and these people are suffering for in certain times they will find that everybody is interested in the Syrian refugees, everybody is talking about them in the media, and in a different time, suddenly, nobody is talking about them. Huh? Why is this? Because of politics, because of surrounding countries, neighboring Arab countries, some of them maybe is taking the refugees as a pressure card or something like this. To show that these people, we should open doors to them. I'm trying to reflect their suffering here, to say that they are banned from entering the countries in this traffic sign, reshaped to view. You can see that Syrian family is crossing the borders and the wires and the bullets is surrounding them. And it says here, Syrian refugees. Just some of my cartoons actually are more like posters, not cartoons.
You know, we don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, there have been several attempts by the world community, the Europeans, the United States, the United Nations, to bring about sort of a solution. Jordan has advised the Syrian government right from the very beginning. His Majesty has dispatched his closest aide to Syria, to giving them the advice of establishing a dialogue. And we still believe that dialogue is the only solution that can bring about a change in the situation in Syria.
The Syrians still have a country and still have homes or remnants of homes, which they can go back to and rebuild. So I mean, eventually I think most will go back to their country, but none will go back in a war climate.
We as Arabs, we share lots of things. They are not aliens to us. These people share us the religion, share us the language, share us the common history, share us the traditions. And we say it for decades, that it is just political borders that the colony had put between us, but we are one culture and one people.
From our side, we have to make our plans, and we are doing a study about that. We are putting down what's the scenarios that we think it will be in the future. So we have to be ready for everything coming out from Syria. Maybe we'll have one day 10,000 refugees just by one shot. So we have to be ready to deal with this kind of crisis.
We hope, keep praying that it doesn't destabilize Jordan. And the other one, we always pray that somebody will solve the problem.
The future of Syria is freedom and liberty, for its people.
هاي البصلة هون ربطها شلون بس تحت الحمص تنحط فوق الشوربة وتطلع عليها.
I'd like to send a small message that this union, when he cook it over the fire, he become as a good meal.
قولها كمان نحط عليهم الليمون.
هو حيو سيدنا حيو والأردن ما في زيه حيو سيدنا حيو